There we go. We're ready to get started. So, welcome everyone. My name is John Flanagan. I am the summer camp director for Y Camp at Horse Beach Reservoir. I've been up at camp for 6 summers, so I'm pretty excited to share this opportunity with you all and your families. Before that, I have worked as a camp counselor and gone to camp for my whole life. I started going to camp when I was 9 years old, and I never stopped. It's been a lifelong passion of mine, and I love it up here in Idaho. It's a pretty awesome place to get to thrive and to work. And I'm joined here with Logan. You want to introduce yourself, Logan?
Hello, my name is Logan Roth. I am going to be the coordinator up here this summer. I've worked at this YMCA. It's the only YMCA I've worked at, but I've worked up here for this will be my fourth year. I was a camper way back in 2011 doing our adventure program and have found my way back to camp and can't wait for you all to come up this summer.
Awesome. Thank you for introducing yourself, and I'm super excited to share this information with you all. I have a few questions that have already come through the chat. The first one is asking about bringing fishing gear and fishing supplies to camp. We have all of our own program supplies here on site, so we recommend that campers do not bring their own items. If he really wants to, you can bring a fishing pole, but I would recommend against that. We have poles and fishing bait and lures and all that fun stuff here at camp. I see Notice doesn't have sound or video. Let's see. Let's wait another minute for them and see if they can figure that out, just so they don't miss all that. And yeah, I am also recording it, so I'll wait another 30 seconds and I'll get started, see if Notice can fix their stuff. And then if not, I can just send them the recording. That is easy peasy. All right. And while we're waiting, I'll say one more thing. You all are our first group up at camp every summer, and it's super awesome. We love having you all up at camp. It is really a great way to kickstart our season. It's really, really fun. It's been going on for, I think, 4 years now. It's pretty awesome having 21st up at camp. So thank you all for your continued support of our programming and all that stuff. All right, we're going to get started now. So I'm going to go over our agenda. So we're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to start first with the program goals of camp. Then we're going to talk about pre-camp preparation, what safety at camp looks like, and what we do to ensure every camper is safe. We're going to talk about medication and what our medical staff entail, talk about meals, activities, and then finally about our team. And throughout the presentation here, we're going to give you some tips and tricks to how to be successful at camp. So to start things off, we're going to talk about our goals. So we have 7 goals. The first 5 are pretty straightforward. So those are make new friends, learn a new skill, do better in school, enjoy more physical activity, and live with our 4 core values of the YMCA, which are caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. So every one of our programs actually has these same 5 goals at the start, and we want to make sure that everyone is able to get those experiences while they're here at camp. We also have the goal of providing a physically, socially, and emotionally safe environment for every single camper. And finally, we want to build a sense of belonging in every camper and ensure that every camper connects with a kind and caring adult. So those are our goals up at camp, and we hope that every camper that comes up this year gets that opportunity to thrive in each one of those areas and really, really build awesome relationships while they're here at camp. Now I'm going to move into talking about preparing for camp and what you need to do beforehand. So here we have what to pack for camp. So our suggested packing list is found in our parent handbook. That was sent to you in an email when you registered for camp, but also Logan in a moment will post a link to that here in the chat. And on that, you'll find a packing list. I have a picture of it on the side of my screen, but there's a PDF version in that parent packet. And it has all the things you would need for your camper to be successful at camp. There are lots of things on there, but I've highlighted a few notable things here. That includes a water bottle and a backpack, as well as a swimsuit and stuff like that. So water bottle is a highly important item at camp. It gets really hot up here during the day, and we're walking around a whole lot. So making sure your camper is able to have a water bottle and be hydrated at camp. If for whatever reason they forget a water bottle, we have ones we can loan out for the week. But we want to make sure that our campers are staying hydrated and healthy. Also recommend a backpack or a day pack or something along those lines so they can just carry around their stuff with them. They can drop their backpack in there, maybe some sunscreen or bug spray, maybe a snack or two if they get hungry throughout the day. Also recommend a swimsuit. On the first day of camp, we do a swim check for all the campers. So making sure that they have a swimsuit on the top of their pack so they're able to go swimming and make sure that they're ready to go for that on the first day is really helpful. I also recommend having an extra pair of clothes or two and a long pair of pants or a sweatshirt or a sweater or a jacket or something like that because it does get pretty cold in the mornings and late at night once the sun starts to go down. So making sure that they have what they need to be warm and thrive in the environment. And finally, a big thing is closed-toed shoes. So shoes that close in the front and in the back that they won't slip off their feet. All of our activities require those, and they just need those to be successful at camp. We don't accept campers running around in flip-flops or sandals or things like that. So making sure they have closed-toed shoes, like a normal tennis shoe or gym shoe works perfectly fine. We do allow Crocs, but those are not ideal for running around and moving a whole lot. So I'd recommend straying away from those, but they're a valid option if needed. All right, we're going to move on to safety at camp. Logan, take it away.
Awesome. So up at camp, safety is one of our number one priorities. When we talk about pre-camp illness, we just advise that campers are happy and healthy and ready to come up to camp. If they're feeling a little bit sick a day or two prior or anything like that, we should advise that they don't come up, one, to make sure that nobody else gets sick or that they spread any kind of sickness. And also, if a camper is feeling really ill and low energy, they're probably not going to have the best time up here. So just keep an eye on kids and how they're feeling ready prior to coming up here sick wise. Between all of our sessions and groups, we have a very thorough cleaning process, and everything is completely sanitized and cleaned before the next group so that all the campers come to a clean, healthy, and sanitized spaces that they interact with. Up at our camp, one of our absolute principles is the rule of three, or the Treddy rule, as we sometimes call it, where basically campers are always in a group of at least two others. So that way they're never alone with staff members, or they have a buddy that they can help look out for each other. All of our staff are completely trained on all of the supervision and to be vigilant in all areas, especially in, like our restroom areas and stuff like that. We have a long training process. So at all times, the kids will have supervision in the cabins, out at activity areas, to and from those activity areas, and so on. We make sure child abuse prevention, big thing for us up here. So like I was saying, a lot of our staff go through a big list of training that we'll talk about a little later on in the presentation. And that goes into our Treddy rule as well. But we're all mandatory reporters, and all of our staff have been trained to look out for it. And we also go through a very big, I'm missing the words in my mind. What is the word, John? Oh my goodness.
We're talking about staff created, like,
yes, yeah. Oh my goodness. Background check stuff. Thank
there
you.
you go.
Excuse me. They go through all that big process when we hire all of our staff up here. We have a no surprise policy. So what that means is that the parents are always informed of what's going on. So let's say a camper falls down, gives them, like, hurts themselves. If it's a little more than a major cut, then we'll make sure to call home, let parents know if anyone's feeling ill or sick or anything like that. We make sure that you, as the parents, are completely notified of that, just so there's no surprises when you come and pick your camper up. We also have a daily rating system. So counselors will take campers at the end of the day and just ask, how was your day, on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being it was the worst day imaginable, and 5 being I had the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. And if their rating is a 2 or lower, we make sure to get a little more information from the camper if possible, and then we call home just to give you a little update on what's going on, how they're feeling, why they rated their day low, and also give you the chance as a parent to talk with your child if you'd like to. Up at camp, we are a cell phone free zone for all the campers, including our staff as well. We just want everyone to be engaging in all the activities, making friends without the distraction of technology and screens and all that stuff. So we ask that you do not send your kid up with a cell phone. Onto radios. All of our buildings and cabins all have a radio system in them, so that way counselors can get in contact with our leads and like John and myself and so on, just in case anything happens on camp, even in the middle of the night, or if we need to broadcast an emergency like a fire drill or something like that. All of our leads, myself, John, we all have personal radios that we keep on, and they're on 24/7. So we're always being able to communicate all around camp whenever. For changing, all of our bathrooms and shared spaces, showers, all that stuff have privacy spots where children can have privacy to change, shower, use the restroom, all that stuff, which you'll see in just a minute. And all of our showers have 2 divisions. So a stall door that you go into, there's a little space, and then there's a shower curtain and the shower. So there is always an opportunity for privacy for the campers when they need it in terms of changing or anything like that. Sweet. Coming up, we've got some photos of some of our cabins and yurts and communal spaces here.
Yeah, real quick, Logan, I have couple more things to add on safety here.
Yes, please.
So, while you're up at camp, most of the directors of the programs that your children are a part of during the school year will be up at camp as well. So not only will we have our awesome staff that Logan was kind of talking about earlier, they'll also have familiar faces of all the directors that they've been working with for the whole year. So they'll have familiar people to connect with. And if you're curious or concerned about your camper, you can either reach out to myself or Logan, or you can reach out to your directors directly, and they can connect with your camper too. So it's just an extra level of safety and parent check-in ability while you're up at camp, which is really awesome that you all have that opportunity. So now we're going to move into what our cabins look like. So Logan, take it away.
Sweet. So this is a photo of one of our cabins. On the top left, you can see that's the exterior of the cabin, and on the right is the interior. All of our cabins have 7 bunk beds that you can see in the photo below, and it's kind of hard to see in the picture, but in that middle space is kind of a little open communal place where kids can hang out, play cards together, draw, do that kind of stuff. Perfect. Here's the restroom of our cabins. On the left is our shower stalls. Every cabin has 2 of them. You can kind of see it in this photo a little bit, but there's that initial stall door, that open space, and you can kind of see the top of a curtain and the back where the shower is. So there's 2 barriers there for all of our campers. And then on the bottom right is the rest, our sinks, paper towel holder. And then around the corner to the left is 2 of our restrooms. Every cabin has 2 stalls. You can't see it in the photo, but there are just regular bathroom stalls behind there. Sweet. Here is a photo of our yurts, exterior on the left and then an interior on the right. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but all the yurts have 6 bunk beds in them, correct?
Yes, they have 6 beds.
Okay, 6 bunk beds in them, and then a very large, like little middle communal space that they can all hang out with. You can't really see it in the picture, but there's a cool plexiglass dome in the middle that provides kind of a cool skylight in the day and a fun stargazing kind of experience at night. So. Sweet. For any campers or anybody that's going to be staying in our yurts, they do not have bathrooms in them, but this is a photo of our barn area, which is right across from all of our yurts. And on the left is all of the restroom stalls and sinks, and on the right are all of our showers in the barn. So all of those yurts share this one communal area, but there is a lot more stalls and still plenty of spaces that campers can have their privacy when they need it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing those, Logan. A couple more things I want to add here, and then we'll move on to the next part. We have different living spaces for different groups. We usually have the oldest groups stay in our more rustic living. So if your camper is on the older end, they'll likely be staying in one of the yurts. And then the younger end of the group, they'll be staying in a cabin. That's how we break it up during our camp program. So that would be expected from you all. We likely will not have the cabin assignment for you beforehand, but you'll know upon arrival to camp where they're staying. Moving on, we're going to talk about our medical staff. So we have a whole bunch of people up at camp to help out your kiddos. Our medical team includes 2 licensed medical professionals. Those are generally nurses, but sometimes we have others in the medical field, such as PAs or other professions in the medical field. We also have our health center lead. Her name is Esther. She's been at camp for 3 years now, and she's a medical student. She works at St. Al's in the wintertime when she's not at camp, and she's awesome. She loves getting to know various campers and connecting with them on a deeper level. We also have our lifeguards. They're trained in basic life support and are the first responders for camp. So if there's an incident happening nearby, the lifeguards will go in and help as best they can until the nurses arrive. And finally, all of our staff are trained in CPR and first aid while they're up at camp. Now we're going to move on to medication. So please make sure if your camper has any prescribed medication, they bring that to camp. I believe the check-in process for that is you'll take it to your site, give it to the directors, and the directors will bring it up to us at camp. So before they hop on the bus, make sure they just drop off any medication with your directors. Please make sure that the medication is in the original container with your camper's legal name on the package if it's prescribed to them. We are not able to administer medication if it is not in that bottle. So please do not put it in like a pill container or something that like one of those weekly organizers. We need it in the official container, please. That is for our nurses to make sure that they keep their licenses and don't get in trouble while they're up at camp. But please also let us know when and how to administer those medications. So if you could let your directors know, or just make sure it's on the bottle so that we can let our nurses know when and where to administer that. We have over-the-counter medication up at camp. We have things such as ibuprofen, acetaminophen, loratadine, all that fun stuff. That's all available for campers. If you want to send that with your camper, you are more than welcome to. But again, that has to go to the directors before you hop on the bus getting to camp. That is a safety thing. We want to make sure that campers are not running around with medication in their back pocket. If anything happens at camp, such as injuries or illness, our team will let you know as soon as we can. It's unlikely to happen, but there's always a chance that things or that kiddos get injured. They might trip or fall or scrape their knee or something like that. So we'll let you know what's going on there. And if there's a higher level of care needed, we'll also communicate that with you. I have a question here for what about over-the-counter allergy meds? Yes, please make sure you send it in the original container. Just don't put it in like a plastic baggie with their name on it. We need it in the container. If it's not prescribed, that's okay because it's over-the-counter medication. So if they take it once a day at any time, that's fine with us. Just send it with them in the original container, please. Awesome. Any more questions on medication or health center team? Awesome. We're going to move on to meals at camp. So Logan, take it away.
Sweet. So all of our meals are prepared up here by our wonderful chef Steve and his 6 staff members that work tirelessly in our kitchen every day. While up at camp, all of our campers eat in their living groups, so they all sit at a table with their cabin or yurt or wherever they're staying at, and the counselors that they were with. They get 3 meals a day and a snack. So we typically eat breakfast at 8 in the morning. Lunch is at 12:30 and our dinners are at 6. We do have desserts with all of our dinners. And then their snack is typically in between our lunch and dinner period every day. We have all dietary options, which should be filled out with all of their onboarding stuff to come up to camp. If not, let John or myself know, and we can make sure that those dietary restrictions are taken care of. Anything like gluten-free, dairy-free, anything like that, we can totally accommodate for. A reminder that our camp up here is a nut-free facility, so please do not send campers up with any peanuts, tree nuts, anything in between, because we want to make sure that we're being as careful as possible with all that stuff. On that note, we advise that you do not send any extra food up with your camper, just because if they're kept in the cabin, squirrels can get at it. Raccoons, we have a few skunks up here that like to be crafty with stealing food. So we just ask that you do not send any extra food up with your camper. I think that's it. John, did I miss anything for meals? No.
Nailed it.
Okay, awesome. For all of our activities at camp, we have a ton of fun ones. For all of our water activities, we have boating, swimming. We do some fishing down there as well. I know somebody was asking about that earlier. All the classic waterfront stuff. We've got a big beach sand that we can play. Either kids can just sit back on lounge chairs and relax if they don't want to swim, or we've got a big volleyball net stuff that kids can play with down there. All of our waterfront activities have multiple lifeguards down there that are keeping a close eye on the beach and water at all times. And then all of the kids will be wearing personal flotation devices or life jackets anytime they're in the water. Besides when we do our swim test is the only time they will not, and that will be when they get up here to camp. I'm assuming that is the same, John. And there will be lifeguards in the water. It's not very far that they actually have to swim, but that would be the only time that they're not wearing a life jacket. For our challenge course stuff, we have our awesome Idaho-shaped rock wall that everyone will get a chance to participate in, and our zip line that kind of goes through the middle of camp, which is a blast and so much fun. We offer mountain biking. So we have 3 different trails up here at camp for all ages. We've got a kind of beginner trail, an intermediate trail, and I would say a longer, more expert trail, but it's nothing too crazy. We've got our classic archery range. We've got in our barn area, a big arts and crafts center. We do a lot of side activities while we're waiting for stuff, or if we're walking to and from. We have plenty of songs and games, including our big all camp game that everyone will get a chance to participate on our big giant grass sports field. And then like below, we've got our big grass sports field with like some big soccer nets on it that we do a ton of fun stuff on. And then our basketball court as well, where we sometimes set up some pickleballs and stuff. And to the side of it, our Gaga pit as well. We have awesome all camp campfires that we do on the first day that kids come up. We'll do kind of an introduction campfire where all the kids in their cabin get to make a fun poster and come and present it to everyone up at camp if they'd like to. We do kind of a midweek campfire where all the campers who want to get to create skits or songs and perform them on our stage in front of all of camp, build that confidence up. And then a closing campfire to kind of round out the week and give another opportunity for people to act on stage if they'd like to. Sweet. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. I will move on and talk about our schedule. So this is what an average day of our camp looks like. So we wake up at around 7 or 7:15 in the morning. Then after that, we head towards the lodge and grab some breakfast prepared by our awesome chef, Steve, and his team. Right before that, actually, we do a flag raising where we raise the American flag, as well as one of our character value flags. So caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. And then we talk about what that value is and how to demonstrate that while they're up at camp. After that, we move into our first activity block. We move into cleaning camp and their cabin. So we'll have them clean up part of camp. head back to their cabin, their cabin for the day and finalize getting ready, getting changed and everything for their activities in the morning. Then we have our first activity block, which is called the discovery block, where campers on the first day of camp will sign up with myself or Logan for an activity that they'll do the whole week while they're at camp. And that is a skill building activity. They'll do it, like I said, every single day, and they'll have the opportunity with the same group and the same counselors to learn something and build the skill throughout that week. It's a pretty awesome experience, and we've had really awesome feedback from that. The campers really, really love it. So that's an opportunity that they get. After that discovery block, we'll move into block 2, which is a choose your own adventure block, where campers are presented with 4 to 6 different activities, and they'll get to pick one in the moment. So those activities might be something like archery, tie-dye, mountain biking, and singing various songs to campers around the camp. So they'll walk around camp and they'll have little instruments and they'll sing songs to them or something like that. Something silly and fun, but lots of different opportunities for fun activities. And again, they'll be presented with a few different options. They'll pick in the moment what they want to do. So they can go with their friends in their cabin or friends that are in a cabin next to them, or they can pick their own and do their own thing and meet new people. After that, we have lunch. Then we have toes up, which is a rest time for campers. So they'll head back to their cabin or their yurt. They'll spend some time, put their feet up and rest and relax. Camp days are pretty go, go, go. So this is essential to ensuring that campers can make it to the end of the day. And it's really, really awesome. After that, we have activity period 3, which is another CYOA block. So that's same 4 to 6 different activities they get to pick in the moment. Then we move on to the final activity, which is a waterfront block, where they head down to the waterfront and get to splash around in the water, maybe take some canoes out and stuff like that. If they don't want to swim, we also have the opportunity for them to play volleyball, sit on one of the chairs and read a book, or just play in the sand and stuff like that. So there's lots of opportunities for folks to do various things at the waterfront. After that jam-packed day, we have dinner. And after dinner, we have an evening activity. So that's usually like a campfire that Logan said. We might do s'mores around a campfire, or songs and games as a big group. We might have an all-camp game like Capture the Flag or something similar to that. And once that's concluded, we'll get ready for bed, and we'll do our daily rating system that Logan mentioned earlier. So they'll rate it from 1 to 5. And then we'll also do the Embers activity, which is a awesome time for campers to connect with one another from within their cabin. They'll be asked a question by the counselor, and they'll have the opportunity to answer that. A question that might be asked is, what was the worst part of your day? What was the best part of your day? And what's a goal you have for your time at camp this week? And then they might ask an even a different question like, what is one thing that you're trying to accomplish by the end of the year? So something to spark conversation and maybe get into a deeper conversation towards the end of the chat. It's a really awesome time. As a camper, that was one of my favorite times of growing up, and also it was an awesome time as a counselor too, getting to know the campers really well. After Embers is over, that is time to wrap up and head to bed for the day, so we can get a full 10 hours of sleep and ready to go for the next day and conquer the day and make sure that everyone's feeling good and healthy. I'm going to move on to talking about our awesome staff. So we have a ton of awesome staff that come up to camp every year. All of them have previous experience working with children in some capacity, which is awesome. They all go through a whole application, a questionnaire, a full interview and reference and background check. They all get child abuse prevention training at our all staff training that happens the week before they come up to camp, or you all come up to camp. So we have a whole week-long training. It's over 80 hours of content where they're learning all of our policies and procedures, as well as how to succeed in stressful environments and to work with children. And that includes all of our child abuse prevention training and things like that. A lot of our staff have been team leaders up at camp. So in our traditional camp programs, we have something called counselors in training and leaders in training. Those are for teenagers that are interested in working with children. And they have that opportunity through camp to learn those skills and to practice them, and then potentially come back as a counselor in the future years. So a lot of our staff went through one of those programs. A bunch of our other staff are from various countries throughout the world. So we have a lot of staff from Mexico and the United Kingdom, some from Spain, someone from Jamaica this year, someone from Jordan, which is really, really cool. So lots of various cultures that your campers will get to experience and to meet with that they don't normally get the opportunity to. And again, I've mentioned this a few times, but they go through that week-long staff training. It's really, really impactful, and it's also a whole lot of fun for our staff, but they get to learn the important skills and ways of working with children at camp. Awesome. And that is actually the last slide I have here. This final one, just to thank you for taking some time here with us today. I know we went over a ton of information, so please, please, please feel free to ask us any questions you have. We want to answer all those before you get up to camp so that you're feeling as good as possible before you send them to camp. If you have another question and you think of it in an hour or two, all my contact information is here as well as Logan's. So definitely take that down. The best way to contact me during our camp sessions is actually through my cell phone. Our camp has spotty internet, and I'm not always at my desk. I'm often working with campers. So shooting me a text at that phone number right there is the best way to go. That phone number is 847-790-6298. Also on this page, you have Amy, who's our registrar. She can help you with any registration issues you have. And finally, Daniel Alpers, who is our associate exec director. He is the big boss up here at camp. So again, thank you for taking some time this afternoon, evening. What time is it? I don't even know. So definitely ask us some questions if you have any. And if not, that concludes our presentation for today. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you all for taking the time.
Everyone's still here. Has anybody already been to camp that wants to share about the experience or something they learned or something that because I know we have a lot of new folks here. We have any vets that want to share what their experience was like? Just throwing it out there. I'm not actually sure if we do. No. Okay.
I have a question for Christian, so I'll take the spotlight from you back. There's a question about transportation. So getting kids to and from camp that actually is through each of the individual sites coming to camp. So connect with your program director and connect with them about what that looks like. My understanding of this process is you meet somewhere, you hop on a bus, and then you come to camp. The part I know is you coming to camp. So I would definitely connect with them. And if you need help with that, reach out to myself or Christian. We can connect with them too.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for everybody. Some of you all are meeting in one spot with a couple different programs. It might not be only yours. Could be vans, could be a big bus. So it's kind of all over the place. So the best person for that info is going to be whoever your director is for your program. Thanks, Sean.
For sure. All right. Any more questions for us?
Hi, Holly.
Hello.
This is more just of the back end logistics. When are you guys going to update who has successfully registered for camp on our special spreadsheets?
I can do that right after this.
Love it.
Can you resend me the link to the spreadsheet?
Yep.
Thank you.
Will do.
Well, if no one else has any more questions, I have a question for you, Logan. Logan, what is your favorite silly camp song?
Oh, favorite silly camp song. Oh, I think mostly because I've heard it about 8 million times. But I think Penguin Power Team has to be one of my favorites. Because that was the first one I heard when I first came up here too. So it just glued into my brain. So yeah.
It stays in my mind for like a full week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. Not like guarantees, but we can all but guarantee that song will be sung.
Yes. John, what about you? What is your favorite silly camp song?
There's so many good ones.
That's true.
Think I like The Princess Pad.
That's a good one.
It's so silly.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's way too many to say my definitive favorite though.
Yeah, true.
Awesome. Well, if there's no more questions in the chat, I'll let you all go. Thank you for spending some time with us this evening. I'll give you the rest of your 20 minutes back of your lunch. So hopefully you have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you all at the camp soon. I'm super excited. It's gonna be so fun.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Logan.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for coming again, and have a great one.
Take care, everybody.